Hey guys, I can make a video too. Look, Mom, no hands. It's JD doing what Uber drivers do, and that's driving. Look, there's a lot of controversy right now over this strike, whether it's going to work, whether it's not going to work. Leadership. Even down to what are we really asking for? What are we really wanting as Uber drivers? And you know what? I've been pretty vocal about leadership and some things that I think are wrong, and I'm going to clear some of that up for you right now. Now, because I've been a little bit vocal, I've been called a lot of things, a shill, some names that I'm not going to repeat in good company. And by the way, in all my debates, I've never called one of you a name. Just throwing that out there to you. But I'm going to clear it up. All right, first of all, I heard about the strike. Thought it was a great idea. Thought it was a brilliant idea. At the very least, for a couple of days, let Uber know, hey, we're a little bit serious about some of the things that we want. Let's do that. So I go to the strike page, I start learning more, I start reading more, and what I see are people with ideas that don't necessarily, jive with what, with what Uber Freedom wants to do, or what leadership thinks the strike ought to be about, but they're in line with the goal of let's get Uber's attention, let's do some things. And the people that had ideas or thoughts or disagreed with some things, or was contrary to what certain people wanted from the strike, then they were met harshly. Oh, you must be working for Uber, you're a shill, you're an idiot. Again, names of things that I won't repeat in good company. That was pretty much the tactic. And I guess when people are passionate about something one way or another, things are going to get said, so you let it roll off your back. And then came a post from Uber Freedom saying that he was going to have the hacker group Anonymous bust into the Uber system, really kind of disrupt things. And this is on top of creating a fake rides, which I was never going to do, even if I was all in on this thing. I just think it's wrong to send the same people you're trying to benefit on wild goose chases that are potentially going to hurt their income. But now Anonymous is going to get involved, and regardless of how you feel about Anonymous, I'm not going to get into a debate over the merits of what they do or what they don't do. For the record, my name never came up on the Ashley Madsen hack, just saying. But at the moment, hacking is a crime. And when I saw this, I immediately disagreed with it. I immediately jumped on it, as I do with many things that I think are wrong, because I'm not afraid to say what I want to say. And, I politely, with all respect, with as much, candor to the cause as I could, said, hey, look, if you do this, you're going to lose the moral high ground. If Anonymous gets involved, Uber has no reason to listen to these demands, because now you're just a group of, or we're just a group of radicals who are, out to be disruptive, as opposed to being effective. In so many words, I said it was a bad idea. Uber had no reason to listen. We lose the moral high ground. And the exact quote from Uber Freedom, hi Abe, was, thanks JD for your input, now on to something that really matters. Then he went on to talk about all the great and wonderful things he was doing for the strike. Okay, so at that point, I'm kind of the wrong guy to dismiss. And after seeing other people dismissed for their thoughts on not only that matter, but some other things that they thought were wrong, such as the wild goose chase rides, or things like hurting Uber drivers who choose to drive that weekend, or pelting rocks at their cars, just talks of baseball bats, a lot of this stuff it has now been taken down from the Uber Freedom page. But lots of these things were being talked about, and it's not, none of it is effective. Making an effort to hurt, scare, intimidate, other drivers, not going to be effective. Making an effort to advocate and solicit illegal activities such as hacking, not going to be effective. Dismissing people who support you want and people who you want to participate in your strike, your action, your work stoppage, whatever, not a good idea. Alienating people that have ideas, although they're contrary to yours, not a good idea. I think the strike had a lot of momentum at first. I think a lot of people wanted to get involved, and I think more and more as time went on, and some of the more negative aspects were coming up, and people were, feeling unheard, when they would try and speak out against these things. And keep in mind, nobody here, including myself, was speaking out about the cause itself. They were just speaking out against some of the, the more really radical stuff that was going to happen. That if they do happen, or had they happen, won't be effective. Now, all that being said, I'm not against people using their voice to get what they want at all. Not even for a second. I said earlier, I think Uber has some stuff they need to change. I am not pro Uber. Uber's the greatest thing ever. Pope Francis ordained Uber to be the greatest company in the world. I don't believe that. I think there's some good things about Uber, some positive things. I think there's some negative things. My main man Seth out there continues on about 75 cents per mile. I do happen to think 75 cents per mile is ridiculous. We definitely need the tipping option in the app. That is like the number one thing I would be screaming for. As a former bartender, I also happen to know that people tip more when it's not in cash. You could IM me about how that works later on, but the tipping option, raising the base rate, lots of things that Uber really needs to consider, and other companies are working on. Lyft right now it has all those things, more or less. There's a couple other guys out there getting ready to launch their own thing, who have all of the things that you're asking for and more. And no, this isn't a commercial for them. But what I'm really saying is, I'm with you guys. I feel what you feel. I'm in the struggle with you, but I cannot, and many people of good conscience cannot get behind the things that leadership has advocated for or is advocating for in this strike. And if you think for 1 second that you can separate the leadership from the movement, you are wrong. Every great movement has been defined by its leadership, good or bad, period, end of statement. I think there's a different way of doing this thing. I know a lot of people think there's a different way of doing this thing, and they all want to see it done. We all want to see it done. I think we all agree here on some things that we want. I just think we disagree about how to get there. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. That's pretty much how I feel about things, and why I feel the way I feel about things, and what led me, to some of the opinions that I had. I've gone back and forth in my mind about whether or not I'll be there, over the strike weekend, whether or not I'll be online, whether or not I'll log on, whether or not I'm going to drive. And to be honest, I'm still undecided. But what I want to see, what I think a lot of people want to see, including those who just think I'm the worst person on the planet right now, want to see is positive change come from Uber. Well, garbage in, garbage out, good stuff in, good stuff out. If you go about this in a positive and effective way, you will see positive and effective results. If you go about this in just a downright nasty, radical, destructive way, you are going to see negative results. This has been proven time and time and time again. For those of you that are going to strike this weekend, I wish you luck. I wish you peace, and I wish you success. And at the very least, hopefully you'll get to say the things that you want to say. Be peaceful, be kind, be effective. For those of you choosing not to strike, I understand where you're coming from too. You have bills to pay, families to take care of, things like that. I get it. I think we all wish there was a way we can get everybody involved. At this point, there's not. I encourage you not striking this weekend and choosing to drive. Be safe, be careful, and stand by your convictions. Those of you that are on the fence, vote your conscience. If you feel like this is something that's right, go do it. If you feel like maybe it's not, don't be intimidated by those that tell you you're with them or against them. I think at the end of the day, we're all for the same things. We all want the same things. And it's not for me to tell you or anybody to tell you what you should be doing that weekend. I encourage you to continue efforts on all sides to make change, to get Uber to listen. There's lawsuits, there's legislation, there's all kinds of things that you can get behind to get the change that you want to see. Don't be fooled into thinking that this is the only chance you have. It is a chance. It is a huge chance. It is a powerful chance. But it is not the only chance like some people are saying. So, let's not call it Armageddon just yet. And let's go out there and really do the things that are going to be effective. And if we do that, the only thing we can do is win. Winning